Hey there, Saber fans, Shamim here. Today we are taking a look at a Kyle Katarn inspired hilt from the Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast series of video games. This particular hilt model was made by Relics, and it is absolutely exquisite. The detail on the exterior, the proportions, everything about this hilt just tugs at my nostalgia heartstrings, playing Outcast and Academy as a kid growing up. You've got accurately sized red knurled thumb screws here. You've got real brass rods up here, a thinner neck. You've got relatively deep grooves going along the upper and lower half of the hilt. Large pommel, accurate to the in-game model. Everything is anodized, properly colored. I'm just really happy with the quality of the hilt itself. Customer sent this to me and wanted a Nano Biscotti V4 soundboard installed. We went with a royal blue, green, white Tricrete XPE2 LED along with a power extender module on the Nano Biscotti so that you can custom mix any shade of blue just by dialing in the royal blue, the green, and the white. So I've set 3 different shades of blue for the 3 different fonts, and then whichever one you like, you can copy paste that for all 3 of the fonts, or you can, adjust them to whatever color presets that you want. So a couple mods that I did on this hilt before we get into the rest of the reveal. I talked about how beautiful the exterior of the hilt is. My main gripes with this saber in terms of the design and the machining are twofold. One of them is that there's no clear switch solution for it. So like out of the box, you're going to have to do some kind of machining to either, drill holes in the black area here if you want some black tactile plunger switches, or what I opted to do and what a couple other installers I've seen have done is take one or both of these red knurled thumb screws and turn them into tactile switches. And that required a lot of machining on that part. Luckily, I have a lathe. Luckily, I have the tools to be able to do that, but a lot of installers might not have that ability or those tools available to them. So that's something that I wish that Force Relics would address on any future runs that they do if they do any redesigns of this hilt. The second major issue that I have with the design of the hilt is that internally it's a 7/8 inch bore, which means even with a massive pommel like this, threading wise, it's bored for a 7/8 inch ID, which means you can only fit really a 20 millimeter speaker in there. I went ahead and I did the install with a 20 millimeter speaker, and it just sounded like crap. It really did. The acoustics in this particular hilt, some of the hilts you can get away with a good 20 millimeter or a good 22 millimeter. Vader's Vault, for example, uses 20 mils back in the past, and they switched to 22, and they managed to get some really good resonance out of their hilts with their 22 millimeter speakers. So it is possible to get good sound with a smaller speaker. You just have to, have a good design and good resonance, and some of that is left up to chance. On this particular one, the chassis that I used and the hilt and everything that I did with the 20 millimeter speaker just wasn't working well. You could barely hear it, and I was like, I wouldn't want this in my personal collection. I don't feel comfortable saying it to the customer like this. So I talked to the customer and I said, I have some ideas on machining the pommel to accept a 28 millimeter speaker. Are you okay with me proceeding like that? It's going to change the assembly of the hilt. So, I didn't want to do any machining without consulting with him first. And he was like, yep, go ahead. I trust your judgment. See if you can fit it in there. And luckily, we were able to do that. So we ended up boring out the pommel, replacing the machined grill that was there, that was part of the pommel, with an MHS speaker vent. You now have a small 832 set screw here holding the pommel in place, so it's no longer a threaded pommel. I got rid of all the threading, both on the inside of the pommel and on the hilt itself, the male threads on the hilt. So now that just slides off once you undo the set screw. That's how you access your 28 millimeter speaker. You slide the chassis out a little bit further. You got your SD card and your recharge port there as well. Customer provided this blade plug. I'm not sure if this blade plug comes with the Force Relics hilt or if this is something that the customer decided to do on his own, but this is what came with the hilt. So let's go ahead and get it fired up. Because it's a Nano Biscotti, only one of the red tactile, only one of the switches, one of the thumb screws is a tactile switch. So the top one is your activation switch. The bottom one is just the standard thumb screw holding the shroud in place. Let's get it fired up.
I'm no Jedi. I'm just a guy with a lightsaber and a few questions.
I'm super happy with the sound quality on this. The 28mm speaker is so much better than the 20mm speaker that you have. So this is one of my SM-based speakers. This sound font is Jedi Knight 2 Outcast. The next font is Jedi Knight 2 Remnant.
May the Force be with you.
Got your blue with a white flash on flash. As always with the Nano Scotty, press and hold, wait for 1 beep. That activates mute mode. And there you go. You still got a little bit of a shimmer and flicker going on. Got your flash on clash, but no sound. Press and hold, turn it off. Press and hold, wait for 2 beeps. That goes to the next font. 1 beep, 2 beep.
Well, you look like an overgrown Kowakian monkey lizard, so I guess looks don't count for much.
Yeah, he's so snarky. I love him. And this is gray meat. Drilled a set screw up here. There was no set screw for blade retention either. So there was quite a bit of machining that had to go into this hilt to get it up to spec, I guess, so that you could throw a blade in there and get a nice sounding speaker in there if you wanted something other than 20mm speaker. Oops, wrong way. Saber accepts a 1-inch blade. It's got a very, very deep blade socket. This is a bit of a lighter blue. Let's cycle through to the other colors.
I'm no Jedi. I'm just a guy with a lightsaber and a few questions.
A little bit more of a deeper color. And what do we got for the second one?
May the Force be with you.
And this is quite royal. Very, very little green mixed in on this one.
Well, you look like an overgrown Kowakian monkey lizard, so I guess looks don't count for much.
Love that pop when a blade comes out of comes out of your emitter. Let's go ahead and show off the chassis. Unscrew the set screw a little bit, and your pommel slides off. There you've got 28mm base speaker. You've got your recharge port, which is press fit when it slides in like that, and then you've also got your SD card right there. So just gently move the recharge port aside. That's how you can get your plug in there for charger. That's also what you want to do if you want to access the SD card. And then just fold the recharge port back in. It'll slide in like so, and that will go like that. You can see right there is where the set screw hits the threads that are remaining after cutting down quite a few of them. So just line that up about as centered as you can get. And tighten it nice and tight. There you can see an extremely deep blade socket. I'm actually going to go ahead and line that middle portion there with some reflective mylar tape, chrome tape, so that you get a little bit of a brightness booster to carry the light up. Because the blade goes in about yay far, and then this part, the LED is seated right down here beneath this choke. So from here to here, I'm going to insert some mylar to get a little bit of a brightness boost. Yeah. In terms of aesthetics, there's no comparison with any other design on the market. I think only Saberforge's I think Saberforge is the only other one to do a version of this hilt at this time. I could be mistaken, but Force Relics and Saberforge are the two that I'm familiar with at this point. The Force Relics one is much more screen accurate, far fewer aesthetic adjustments that need to be made to make it screen accurate, and in some cases it's not possible to make the Saberforge one more screen accurate just because of the proportions and the way that things are machined. Like, you can't get a thinner neck, or you can't get the real brass rods, because those are all cast as part of the Saberforge model. The only really good thing about the Saberforge model, in my opinion, compared to this one, is price. It's a good $300 or so cheaper than the Force Relics version. You know, obviously you pay for good quality. But internally, the Saberforge one is far easier to install. I don't think there's any machining that had to go. I installed the Saberforge Outcast, and I don't remember having to do any machining. All the holes were drilled. You could accept a 28mm bass speaker. Switch holes were drilled. So Saberforge has that on top of Force Relics, but if you have the money and you have the machining capability, or you have a good installer who's able to do the machining on the pommel, or to get the switches right, it turns into a really, really nice hilt, and I think by far the definitive Kyle Katarn hilt from Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it other than it's a really, really pretty hilt, and for the nostalgia in all of us, it's great to see a very nice version of Kyle Katarn's hilt. I'm quite proud of the install, and I hope that the customer will be satisfied with it. Thank you all so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.